Welcome back, everybody. I'm Brimstone, and I'm joined by Ty Tangles and Red Cube here. Thank you for coming back after that short little break. We've got our fourth and final match coming up here of Week 5 for CCS R6W. That match is going to be Slaughterhouse versus Victorious Secret. Like most matches that we've seen so far in NA, I think although we've got the 4th seed versus the 8th seed, I think once again it's going to be a close one. If 1 versus 9 is going to be close, I think we can expect this one as well. What do you think, Ty?
I don't know. I feel like Sinister's just had a bad run. I feel like they're a really strong team that just so happens to not have gone away with the victories in some of these matches. I don't know what the problem is. I'll tell you what the problem is. It's small mistakes, really. It's been killing them. Small mistakes. Their roam game we saw against Artemis. And Artemis is kind of a hard comparison to make when Artemis plays anybody because they've gone 5 weeks undefeated, so they've been perfect throughout R6W. That being said, I think that they're very under-repped as far as the rank is concerned. Let's look at the ranks as a matter of fact so we can talk about this a little further. I think that in this particular case, Slaughterhouse has not shown me what I think Sinister has been, what I think are capable of. So I think there's a little bit bigger of a skill gap here. I think Victoria's Secret, too, losing 2 games. I mean, one of them was a 7-8 loss against Artemis, right? So their score line isn't necessarily indicative of what they're capable of. I think they're a significantly stronger team than their rating or ranking shows us. And I think Slaughterhouse, I really haven't seen them just put the pedal to the metal yet.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I look at it week by week, I feel as if Slaughterhouse has had a bit of a tougher run through the first 4 games than Victoria's Secret. Although Victoria's Secret did go up against Artemis and bring it close with them, I think outside of that, Victoria's Secret has had a few easier games, including last week going up against Powerhouse, going 7-1.
Right. I don't want to be mean and say Powerhouse is a freebie, but they have yet to win a match. And so, just by rankings alone, they're going up against Powerhouse, you're technically going up against the most favorable team as the rankings show them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, yeah, sorry, go ahead, Red Cube.
I was going to say, I think one thing that we also have to look at, though, which I slightly disagree with you guys, is the fact that VS has actually had a pretty hard schedule, and the fact that they are also number 4 on the standings, and a win here secures their spot in the top 4. So no matter the results today, if VS win here, they are still going to be safe in the top 4. But I'm going to have to slightly disagree with the fact that they've had a slightly easier schedule than Slaughterhouse, because VS, they've had to go against Artemis, and yes, they went against Powerhouse, but before the week 4, week 3, week 2, and week 1, they were all very hard for Victoria's Secret, and they did find themselves on the winning end of all of them except against Artemis. And against Artemis, they were the only team that has brought Artemis to overtime. So that says a lot, in my opinion. I think Victoria's Secret are a little bit slept on right now, and I think they're arguably one of the strongest teams in the pool as of right now. But Slaughterhouse, like you said, Ty, they haven't shown enough for us to kind of make a huge prediction on them. But the one thing that is shown is the fact that they need to get a win here in order to boost themselves out of that bottom half of the table. So this is a very, very important matchup for them.
Yeah, good points there. Now, I would like to get into the rosters here, if you don't mind. Get this game underway shortly. So for the rosters, we've got Slaughterhouse here. We've got Tara, Sky, Assault Queen, Bailey, and Solaire. And then on the other side with Victoria's Secret, we've got Rachel Boo, That One Brit, Lil Lexi, Just Breezy, as well as Sketch.
Yeah, and I think looking at just the rosters right now, in the games before this, we had very explosive players. We've seen Maddox on Disrupt. We've seen Madeline on, not Madeline, it was Marmalade on 8K. And when you look at this matchup, I think the very first thing a lot of people, if you're just looking at the surface, is say, there's not many explosive players. There's not your LeBron Jameses on this team. But I think that's actually a very good thing, because it shows, hey, this is a team game. Siege is a team game no matter what. And the fact that we're seeing very spread out stats for all of these players and nobody's really jumping out, I think is a really good sign for both of these teams. And they got to plant that and make that their seed, because that can really help them in the future when kind of games start getting very, very close.
Yeah, man, I think each one of these teams got their Kawhi Leonard. If we're going to start throwing out basketball, I mean, we've seen Assault Queen go just absolutely bananas in the games that Slaughterhouse has come out the other side with the victory. And we've seen Breezy just go. We've seen a lot of Victoria's Secret, but Breezy I've seen personally go off. There's a lot of talent on both sides, but we talk about the fact that, of course, on Victoria's Secret there's some more recognizable names because they're streamers.
Yeah,
and because that's I think their career, right? That's all they do, and most of what they play is Rainbow Six. That they have more hours in game. So they have that going for them. And more hours in game doesn't really necessarily mean anything other than the fact that, your aim's probably a little bit better. You got your settings dialed in, blah, blah, blah. But comp is a totally different animal than any other style of game. And we'll switch over to the map bans as I think they're about to come out. We'll get those started as I finish my thought here. Recognizable names aside, it's the competitive environment and how a team behaves in that, and how important everybody on the team is to do their job is a little bit different. So, it's I don't know. I don't like to throw predictions out, but Victoria's Secret has played extremely well.
Yes.
Which is not a surprise to anybody. And although they sit at 2-2, again, they took Artemis, the distance, et cetera. And it looks like Clubhouse will be off the board, so we'll see Border tonight for the first time.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. I was actually expecting another Clubhouse game because that's just the pattern so far. But Border is, in my opinion, unfortunately, my least favorite map to cast.
Boo!
As it's just so I call
like
it
Border.
like boarder, like you see, like bored, because like I'm bored.
If you only see it once a night, it'll be fine.
Yeah, but we've seen in the past, Border has become quite stale with how you approach it. The attacks are very similar. The defenses are very similar. It's not very fluid whatsoever. And that's kind of what we saw happen to Oregon. Oregon's been removed from the pool. I don't exactly know what's going to happen with Border, but Border has reached that state of where it's kind of the same thing over and over and over again. And fortunately, is the fact that we have only seen this once tonight, so it's not going to be as stale as it would have been if it was like the Clubhouse of CCSW.
Yeah, you people are nuts out there with the gift subs, all right? Just calm down out there. No, we really appreciate it, whoever did that. And if you got a gift sub, make sure you thank the person who gave it to you.
Yes, say
Very
thank
good.
you.
All right, so we've got, I think, 10 people in, so we'll get started here in just a second. But before we do, let's bring Brimstone back. Welcome back, buddy. You heard what we have to say, right? It's number 4 versus number 8. Okay? Mm-hmm. What are your predictions? Okay? Because you were very heavily in favor of Artemis that last game. Very heavily in favor. Mm-hmm. We had a game, right? We had a good match. What do you think's going to happen this time around?
You know what? I did want to stress, I think Slaughterhouse is closer than we think, but I still think Victoria's Secret takes the edge here. I'd love to see another close game with great comms, great organization. Who wouldn't, honestly? But I am going to give, like I said, the edge to Victoria's Secret, and I'm looking at, hey, you know what? I'm going to go with a bold prediction here. I'm going with an 8-7 victory for Victoria's Secret. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Yeah.
Ooh.
I think it's
interesting.
Big one to end the night.
Well, we're gonna have to leave you behind because we're gonna go ahead and get started now on our 4th and final best of 1 matchup of the night. Slaughterhouse, Victoria's Secret on Border. First Border we've seen tonight. And here we go with the bands.
I almost don't want it to end my CCS debut. I just kind of want to keep casting games on top of games on top of games. But unfortunately, all good things do have to come to an end. And
I don't. I'm an old man. I want to go to bed.
But all good things have to come to an end, unfortunately. And this is going to be
the
last.
What happened? They're calling for a rehost. I'm not sure.
I don't know what's going on, but we are getting a call for a rehost,
which is perfectly within the wrong sides. Okay, so let's kick it back to our beautiful faces. And Brimstone, okay, he's still here. Good. So we'll come back, and we won't get this match started.
I was about to get up. I'm sorry. I've got to get going right now. I was expecting
I'm about to head out. But no, but we are going to get that rehost address as quickly
and it's not
as
going to
possible.
cost. It's not going to cost anybody rehost because that was a
So we're
production mistake. But that's okay. That's okay. We've been doing pretty well so far tonight.
We have. At least I hope. I haven't watched the stream, but I hope we've been doing at least half decent. But we are going to be just be kind of waiting here before the players get back into the lobby. And one thing I actually wanted to briefly talk about is the fact that Victoria's Secret, I think a lot of people know them, again, looking at just the scoreboard of everything. They are the favorites. And also Slaughterhouse are maybe the underdogs here. Do you guys think that has a shape on the mentality going into this matchup? Do you think that kind of affects the mindset of these players? Or is it kind of just he said, she said kind of deal?
Well, I can jump into that one there real quick. You know what? I think after 4 weeks of playing here, I do think maybe Victoria's Secret might as well be going in with the mental edge, thinking, you know what? Based on history, based on teams we've faced, I think we're the ones to do this. But that's not to say with how close things have been, Slaughterhouse isn't, licking their chops here saying, look, this is very much within our reach. Mental advantage, if there is one, maybe Victoria's Secret, but I don't think it's going to be too much of a mental advantage.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you there because a lot of the time, I've said this a lot in my casting, even when I just started. I always said pressure shapes legends, and the higher the pressure, I always think the better the really good players will play. So with a game like this, where Slaughterhouse, they need to find a win here to kind of boost themselves out from the bottom, and Victoria's Secret need to find a win here to boost themselves into the top 4 and secure a top 4 spot. This is when the pressure is fairly high, and this is when you will start to see the teams start to take shape, and you'll start to see players really get going. And I think it's a perfect recipe for a really good game, and I'm looking forward to it very, very much so.
As am I. Although this is one of those situations that I'm sorry, like just as confident as Brimstone was in the number 1 taking on the number 9 team, I just don't think that Slaughterhouse can hang with Victoria's Secret. And I'm not being mean here. Okay, and if I see it go the other way, I certainly won't be disappointed. I don't think anybody will, except for fans of Victoria's Secret, right? But I just think that Victoria's Secret is just a showstopper of a team. I think, them going the distance with Artemis is one thing to talk about. Who is their other loss against? Can one of y'all look that up?
It was
Victoria's Secret did lose to Disrupt Gaming.
Okay, yeah. So listen, look how difficult of a season Victoria's Secret has had so far.
Yeah, it's been a tough schedule.
They've been hanging with these teams. This is Victoria's Secret's match to lose coming up. Really, it is. And I just don't see them doing that. I think that this is certainly more in favor of one team than last game, period.
Yeah, well, and it looks like go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like we've got the readies coming out, so I'm going to leave it to you guys. I'll see you probably in just a few minutes.
Bye, Brimstone. Here we go. Border, take due. We're going to go through these operator bands once again. Slaughterhouse, Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret sitting in 4th place currently. Slaughterhouse in 8th. We've talked about it, and now it is time for actions to happen. So Jackal will be going out first. No surprise to anybody. What do you think?
I'm actually on Border again. This is a very cookie cutter map. I'm expecting cookie cutter bans. We've seen a couple matches where we've seen out of the ordinary bans.
Well, there's a slap in the face for your cookie cutter ban theory.
There we go. Cookie cutter is out the window now, as we've seen a couple thermite bans, but definitely few and far between. That is very interesting, and as well as the fact that's the attacking side that banned Thermite. Mira, very typical. That's no surprise there, but attacking side banning Thermite. I'm kind of left in shock a little bit. I'm not going to lie. That is very interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I'll tell you what, it's not unheard of to see a hard breacher banned on Border at all. So it's not like crazy. Like, we're not seeing craziness. But Slaughterhouse Perhaps this is a counter to something that they've seen Victoria's Secret be very
seen,
successful on Border. As a matter of fact, I don't think Slaughterhouse has any footage for Victoria's Secret to dissect on Border, whereas the opposite is not true. Victoria's Secret has played Border before, if I'm not mistaken. So I very seriously think that that these are counter bans. Jackal on Border, like he's not. I mean, Jackal's Jackal, right?
I think it's just Jackal. Yeah, I was just about to say that.
But he's not the strongest operator overall on Border specifically, unless you're really trying to roam, which you don't see a lot of. Like if you see a roam on Border, it's more like a off-site hold,
site anchor.
Yeah, instead of a roam. So Jackal. I could see you getting away with not banning Jackal this time around. And look, an atypical site to kick things off.
Yeah, this is interesting. Most of the time you are going to see either upstairs or that ventilation workshop area, but opting for customs is going to be Slaughterhouse here. And this is something I've had quite a interesting opinion on for when I was casting. It's the fact that yes, this is a different site, and yes, it can throw off the other team, but is that enough to risk kind of letting go of some viability? Because customs is not as viable as ventilation workshop, and it's definitely not as viable as upstairs, and you're gonna get maybe some confusion here and there, but is it really worth it at the end of the day? I don't necessarily know. In this situation, I don't necessarily agree with actually going to this site, but we're just going to have to wait and see, and potentially, just potentially, we are going to we are going to see. I just got very interesting news.
Yeah, we just got some information on the off-stream match that we think is like a lie. So we're not going to say anything until that's been confirmed by somebody else independently. Wow! Oh my goodness! There's no way. Listen, I know we're watching it. I know that we're watching Slaughterhouse versus Victoria's Secret, ladies and gentlemen, right now. There has to be. You know what? I'm not even going to say anything yet. Are you kidding me? 3 people have confirmed it. I don't know if I'm getting trolled right now. Okay, listen. Queen YOLO Mid has been defeated by Powerhouse. The second place. Queen YOLO Mid has been defeated by the so far winless Powerhouse. Little Lexi, I can't believe it either, folks. And that VOD will be on YouTube for your enjoyment later this week. But Little Lexi on the game we're watching now will kick things off. We also have Buck going down pretty darn low as well. Got a CCTV hold as I'm just kind of right now. Is this real life? One Brit, she'll find one of her own. I'll do Assault Queen. And so that will be, nope, not all of the Roman CCTV dispatched up. There will be one more. Sky on a complete pinch right now. We'll pull the shotgun out to open the hatch up and drop the safety. But oh no, what is happening? A little bit of a interesting scenario there. Tara will find one back onto that one Brit. So it's still anybody's game at this point. Minute and 15 left to go here. 4v3. Victoria's Secret, the lead so far.
Yeah, we are going to be reaching that 1 minute mark, and the fact that the defense is basically falling off the face of the planet. Yes, you lose that Nomad, and you're going to have to just watch your flank with your eyes instead of that air jab. I still think this is definitely in favor of the attack right now. You are on a less viable site, but Bandit could completely change that here. Bandit is able to find one, but potentially two. It looks like we are going to be seeing Terra is able to find one. So Sketchopotamus, I love that name. Sketchopotamus goes down. And it is going to be a 3v3, and time is ticking down. The attack started off extremely fast-paced, gaining control of CCTV in a matter of seconds, but it has stalled out quite significantly, and the defense is starting to get grips on this once very slippery slope that was this round.
Yeah, but little Lexi, she'll stop the bleeding in the meantime, picking up her second of the round. She'll take a lot of damage in exchange. She's only one shot. We got Solaire in the back with the Alda. Little Lexi pushing up.
Ooh.
A meeting of these two operators. No, Little Lexi will peek out with her back facing the wrong way. Solaire, she'll find her, finish her off, but the defuse will go down successfully. And just Breezy is waiting there. And Terra, oh no!
Oh no.
Befuddles the C4 throw. Probably just couldn't control her fingers there on the toss. Wait, what? Oh, that was a pretty far C4 kill. I'm not sure if she was weak or what. Just mistimed how close she could be and win. And will finish herself off. for Victoria's Secret, but it was,
That's
I
just
will
unfortunate.
admit, a very close round. And ladies and gentlemen, like, can I back up for a second? Because I think we just
let's
announced
rewind.
to everybody that
Let's
powerhouse, 10th ranked, winless powerhouse took
Minus
down
20.
I'm sorry?
They're minus 20. They're minus 20 in round count. They are bottom of the table, 0 points, minus 20 in round count.
Has beaten Queen YOLO Mid, second place, only one loss to Artemis, the only undefeated team in CCS R6W, has defeated them 7-5.
That's shocking. That is incredibly shocking, and that is going to shift the table quite a bit. It's
Listen,
not going
I'm
to help.
telling you, I've been telling you that anything can happen. It's
It
small
really can.
mistakes.
It really can.
That's why I was like, Sinister is completely in this. I don't care if it's 4th and 8th or whatever it was, 3rd and 8th, right? Or
Second
1st
and
and 8th.
10.
I'm sorry, 1st and 8th is what the previous game, or 1st and 9th is what. That's
Yes.
exactly what it is. So 1st and 9th played. It was a heck of a game, and then 2nd and 10th played, and 10th won. Winless.
It's
10th
incredible.
won.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I think it just.
And we're
it speaks
halfway
volumes.
through the season right now. We're only halfway through the season. There's so much left to be played. It's going to be, listen, the rest of the season's going to be nuts, okay? You can't count anybody out at this point, period.
Yeah, and most of the time when competition heats up and the games start getting closer and closer, it takes a very long time for that to slow down. And the fact that we can take away this week's matches with last week's matches and then look at the future, that is just a recipe for extremely explosive games. And if that's not something to look forward to, I do not know what is. But something we also can look forward to is this match at hand, as we are going to be seeing the action phase is underway, as Vigil, brought down extremely low, is going to be retreating into the safety that is the downstairs bathroom and just going to be waiting off as much as possible. And it is wasting quite a bit of time, but I don't necessarily know if that's really too valuable right now, because we're seeing the attack is extremely focused on just opening up this east wall and getting as much control into the fountain area as possible.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the drone game is currently like here with Victoria's Secret, but they seem pretty hesitant. And Sketchopotamus checking all the angles, just doesn't seem to have any intel on what's going on in the room. We'll see a drone actually get shot, I believe, further in the room. I'm not sure if that was no, it won't be a hostile drone. And there is somebody in Sandwich. So they knew somebody was in there, and now they definitely know. And a grenade will find a little bit of help on Sky, laying prone right under the window. Did they know she's there? Sketchopotamus checking the window very carefully, like perhaps they do know. There also was a grenade that detonated nearby. But they will drone out to see exactly what's going on. And it looks like they right away will spot her. Here comes the grenade. Nobody will move. Sky will not move from the window, and she will not get affected by that grenade. But just Breezy is there. Oh, no! She'll pop up at the window and take Sketchopotamus down. Will finally get refragged. But Breezy having to do all the work herself. Terror, meanwhile, will take that one Brit down to the ground. So we have a tied game, ladies and gentlemen. 1 minute left on the board.
Yeah, you have 1 minute left, but you also have, if you're the attacking side, quite a bit of office control, and this is exactly where you want to dictate your push from. So Habana is in a very, very favorable position, just watching any cross, and it's basically pinching this entire defensive side into a situation where they can't necessarily run out and get a frag. So the attackers are in really nice spots, and Vigil is really the only person that could be the direct counter to this, but it's not going to work very well, as we're just going to be seeing a trade on top of a trade, and it's still going to be a 2v2. So Lexi is just waiting for Rotate. Unfortunately, misses the shot. The C4 going to come out, and you can't hit it. And just like that, it's left up to one person, and the plant is not going to be coming down. It finally does. And it's going to be all up to the Thatcher. Yes, you have a really good gun, but it does not matter, as the Disable is going to be coming down. And that's a great round on defense for Slaughterhouse. And they are able to even it up 1-1.
Yes, it would. That was a very good defense by them, and the refrags were always there, which I thought was a really good effort by them. I have no idea how Sky managed to win that gunfight at the window.
Yeah, that was shocking.
But thankfully, Breezy was there for the refrag. Breezy with the two-piece on the round. Did a good job. You know, I talked about her prior to the round starting. I talked about Assault Queen as well. But right now, it seems like both of these teams are in it. And it's been very close. So still, nobody's started to pull away, but either in round count or in momentum, if you will.
Yeah.
So that will be that. 1-1 after the first two. Still a lot of Siege left to be played. Remember, folks, this is a first to 7. If they tie at 6 apiece, we will go into a best-of-3 overtime. And somebody will walk away the victor no matter what. No ties in CCS R6W, much to the happiness of our players and fans.
Yeah, absolutely. I think ties are kind of just one of those things where it's a lot easier on production. It's a lot easier for watchability, but just the kind of satisfaction.
It's not fun to watch people tie, period.
Well, it's like, yeah, I was going to say the satisfaction of it all is definitely in favor when you have a winner at the end, because it's like in a race when you were a kid, you'd always say, oh, yeah, we tied, even though you definitely lost or you definitely won. It's like we don't all have to be winners here. There's got to be one winner, and that's why I love not having draws. But we are going to be getting into a situation where it is 1-1, and you briefly talked about it, and you said there's not really a confidence boost for anybody here so far, and there's not really momentum in anyone's favor. And I think that's something that's overlooked quite a lot in Siege. As a viewer, I think the last thing you're going to be thinking about is what is going through their head right now. And momentum and confidence can completely dictate a game, and the fact that even with a discrepancy in the standings and kind of some major point differential between these two teams, the fact that both of these teams, I think, are looking fairly confident with their play is a really, really good sign.
Yes, it is. 30 seconds off the clock as Victoria's Secret makes their way onto the east balcony. Actually, a little bit of a split push, it seems like. But perhaps an office take to get control of that top floor is in the cards for Victoria's Secret. Look at that other side opened up as well just to try and push out any defenders. It looks like there's somebody solo up top for the defense right now. No, there's one on office side, one on the other side kind of holding it out. We got Castle there in the office side. I'm not sure who else. There it is. Jaeger will be playing up there. Playing right off a fountain, see what you can come up with. And really not having to do much. Actually, Legion is up there. So there's a 3-person crew up top ready to defend. A minute already off the board, and nobody has been seen yet by either one of these teams. Got Solaire downstairs in the bathroom, hanging out, waiting for some action to happen. And again, I think one thing that I've not seen, or what I'd like to have seen more information gathering from Victoria's Secret. Sky, she'll open things up, taking the head off Sketchopotamus, but not before little Lexi can refrag onto Terra. So that's the castle gone, all that utility already being deployed versus the Buck, which is very important if you're going to take the top to open up the floor to shoot down into sight. But Breezy comes in. She'll find 2 just like that. We talked about her pregame, and she's doing her job with the Habana, no less. Pull out the X-Kairos, but see that the hatch is already open for a rotate back down to sight. And just like that, there's only 2 defenders left, 4-2. And still so much time for Victoria's Secret to work with.
Yeah, getting up top control, especially on this site, is the main objective as the attacking side. And the fact that we saw not 1, not 2, but 3 roamers upstairs, it looked like it was going to be very, very difficult for this side of Victoria's Secret to get any type of control upstairs. But we saw Castle Legion and Jaeger were dispatched of extremely quickly. And just like that, there's so much control now for this attacking team. And all they have to do is wait and watch for potentially somebody walking into their lines of sight, or if they want to get that plant down. Time is ticking down, though, and you do see the smoke all the way upstairs. And unfortunately, a gunfight you really need to win as smoke is going to be lost out. It's going to be all up to the Maestro. Nomad looking the complete wrong way is going to be a freebie for the Maestro, but it's a 3v1, and you have complete control, making it a 2v1, and things just got a way lot easier with 10 seconds left. There's diffuser, and you're just walking into bullets. This is so winnable now for the Maestro, and just like that, he's able to find 4, and Solaire goes absolutely nuclear and shuts down Victoria's Secret in great, great fashion. Oh my goodness.
That was disgusting, and exactly what Slaughterhouse needed. They're going to take the lead. A 1v4, ladies and gentlemen, with the Alta in the bathroom, and what changed everything was the person carrying the diffuser went for the kill.
Yep.
You're up you're up 4 people. What are you doing? Go plant in safety and let the 3 people cover you and make the Maestro come to you. Okay?
I think it was a mix. I think
no,
it
that
was
was
a mix
greed.
of lack of
that was nothing but greed. You
I
know
was
it.
gonna say
I know it. Everybody
I was-
watching knows it. Okay?
I
was
gonna say
greed, and it
and
didn't
maybe
pay off.
intel.
No,
And maybe
who cares?
intel.
Who cares? You got the
That's true,
diffuser.
though.
You don't go.
You got the diffuser.
Yeah,
Go
you
play
don't-
it in a safe spot.
And
Yeah,
by the
that
way,
was
very sickly,
huge misplay.
disgustingly played by Solaire there.
Yeah, that was a huge misplay there for Victoria's Secret around that you are, if you're a betting man, you're putting all your money on Victoria's Secret winning that round, especially in a 4v1 situation when you have complete control of sight. And the fact that we saw Maestro just kind of wash away with it. Yes, it's an all-done, that gun's amazing, but a 4v1 is no easy feat. And in that situation, it was just bodies on top of bodies piling up in the same exact situation, in the same exact spot. And in the end, the defense is the one that comes out on top to, I think, everybody's surprise. Huge misplay there from Victoria's Secret, and that's a huge confidence booster for Slaughterhouse. And like we said, the mental game in Siege, it's nothing you can overlook. And, well, I think the mentality of all these players has shifted quite a bit after that last round.
That it has, but I don't think, I mean, it's still 2-1, right? It's not like they messed up some 5-5 situation,
5-5.
and now they're on match point. So, you know, it's still perfectly manageable for Victoria's Secret, and they still should feel confident given their record and their performance in the past versus Slaughterhouse. But let me just tell you right now, right, you cannot sleep on Slaughterhouse anymore. You cannot let Slaughterhouse get away with plays like that because it becomes a very slippery slope very quickly, right? And like you said, the mental game will flip completely in the favor of the other team, and then you're struggling to get back into it after that, especially if Slaughterhouse can chain multiple together. So here we go. Minute down. Victoria's Secret taking their time on the outside of the building, but they will make presence into the break room, looking towards office. They know that there's always been a heavy roam game from Slaughterhouse up top, and so far they haven't had too much of a challenge dealing with it. It's closing the round out that's been Victoria's Secret downfall so far. But again, it's still early into this match. A lot of Siege left to be played.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's not really an issue you can look at. It's not a time management issue. It's not a losing your gunfights issue for Victoria's Secret. It's just simply the fact they weren't able to close out their rounds. That's a very issue to fix. If there's any issue you want to have, it's most likely that one, because it shows, hey, I've done absolutely everything correct. It's that last inch that I need to address. And we are going to be seeing Terra is going to be the first one to get a kill. That's their IQ off the board. And with those Valkyrie cameras, that is actually quite a big kill for the side of the defense. It's going to be a lot harder to spot out where those cams are exactly, but we are going to be seeing quite a lot of upstairs presence, and Terra is going to be forced into a situation where either you're going to try to frag out or drop down to site. It looks like she's going to be going for the frags. Oh, wow. That is unfortunate. Yeah. A little bit of a, I think, fat finger or a misclick there, and that's just got to be interesting to see from the Nomad's perspective, right when you're about to go for a gunfight, the person in front of you pulls out their phone and decides to take a picture. But we are going to see Sky is able to find another kill, and it's going to be a frag in favor of the defense. And just like that, though, it's going to be immediately refragged. 3v3 now, and this is something we've seen over and over and over again with these teams. It's just going to be interesting to see how it ends up this time around.
Breezy's just been going off this game. I've talked about her pregame. I'm going to continue to talk about her. As long as she is alive, Slaughterhouse is not safe. So we have a 3-3, but the time is almost gone. The diffuser is sitting unpicked up. It just got picked up. The attackers are going to have to move fast. Rachel Boo will find one. Sky misplaying the squat, but Solaire will fire right back the hero of last round, and 3 seconds left to go. The diffuser will begin to go down. The play will have to be covered, but Solaire from up top, SMG-11 in hand, will stop it. And we'll clutch out another 1vx situation in a row. Slaughterhouse now 3-1.
This is, it's almost like a 1vx situation where X is greater than 1 for this Victoria's Secret team is their undoing. Like, they don't want that to happen, because we've seen now 2 rounds in a row. Whenever they have the advantage, they just cannot capitalize on it. And the round they did win, they didn't have the advantage. So it makes absolutely no sense on why they're losing these rounds and winning the round that they did win. But there's a lot, I think, that's kind of going through the head right now of Victoria's Secret, because you're doing everything right the entire round, and then it's just finally at the end when things matter most, it starts to kind of, you start to fumble the ball a little bit, and that's got to be extremely frustrating.
Well, I talked about it last round, right? Losing a 1v4 sucks, right? But it's still 2-1. Like, there's so much left to be played, blah, blah, blah. You have so much time to recoup. You're Victoria's Secret. You've done so well.
Yeah.
so far, right? You've given up a few really, like, painful ones, like the 7-8 loss to Artemis that they had earlier in the season. Other than that, like, you guys, I mean, this is 8th place Slaughterhouse. Maybe they got the news that Queen
That
Yola
powerhouse one?
Yeah, the powerhouse, and they're like, oh, I don't know what's going on anymore, and lost their confidence. But Slaughterhouse is looking good. And I'll tell you what, as a matter of fact, I'm going to take that back. Slaughterhouse has one player that is absolutely going crazy right now, right? And that's Solaire. Clutching a 1v4, then subsequently clutching a 1v2. I mean, if you got somebody who's playing out of their mind like that, and Victoria's Secret doesn't have an answer, right? If you shut them down early, it's a kind of a breath of fresh air. But no, Little Lexi will be the first kill of the game for 2 consecutive rounds. Terra getting that opening kill on the roam, and Victoria's Secret will now have to play the rest of the round, all 2 minutes and 20 seconds from behind.
I think it's almost like we want to see Slaughterhouse almost play through Solaire. Kind of, you see this a lot in more like physical sports, like football and basketball. There's a player that you always play through, and there's the person that's going to be your star player. And right now, and actually before this game, I never said there was never an explosive player on these teams, but I am completely wrong. And Solaire is doing everything and also being explosive. So we're probably going to see Slaughterhouse is going to try to play through Solaire, try to give her as much confidence as possible, and it's working right now. How long will it work? That just depends how well they can play through her. But Sketchpotamus is able to down Sky. That's a great play there. Great intel and use of the drone, and also use of that skeleton key to open up the perfect sight line and just put a bullet right into the chest of Legion. And just like that, Legion off the board, an operator that gets stronger as the round goes on, unfortunately, is going to be the first defender off the board here for Slaughterhouse.
Looks like just a small staircase separates Breezy from Terra, but Breezy will win it out. He's doing an excellent job for Victoria's Secret, and so they will take the operator advantage, the numbers advantage, with a minute and some change left to go. Buck from underneath will start opening up the floor, and Bailey will just escape, barely unscathed, but unscathed nonetheless. You'll hear the floor continue to get opened up. She's sitting right on top of the hatch. I'm not sure if it's reinforced. I'm assuming that it is.
It's not, actually.
Oh, it's not? Well, then that's a very dangerous play. She's kind of being forced to push out, and she'll find one. The head of one Brit is what Bailey will find with the 416C. And now she will begin her rotate down the metal stairs. Of course, with the floor getting opened up all around her, that area is not very safe. We got Solaire working the Evil Eye, checking on the intel as the wall has not yet been opened up. But we see that Breezy has the X-Kairos gun in hand, and that will begin to get opened up now. Sketchpotamus rotating back to help her team from behind, but time is ticking away. It's a 3-3, and the diffuser will begin to go down behind the safety of the bomb. We got one on flank down the hallway to wrap around and try to make something happen, but in the meantime, the diffuser will successfully go down. We'll have some, I'm not sure if they're panic grenades or some delay grenades. Nonetheless, Sketchopotamus will throw both of her grenades out, but Rachel Boo, doesn't matter if you're hitting all your shots, and she'll find 2. Only one left to find Solaire. We've seen her clutch it 2 times, but she will not do it this time. Victoria's Secret shuts her down finally. Rachel Boo with a 3K at the end, and Victoria's Secret right back in this.
Even if you're Victoria's Secret, you got to be a little bit scared at that later half of the round, because if you're looking at that scoreboard, you realize, oh no, the one last person alive is Solaire, and she has done this so many times before. You got to be shaking in your boots just a little bit, but fortunately there for Victoria's Secret, they are able to win it out. They are able to prevent the clutch, and they are right back in this matchup. Reminder, we've talked about this all day today, about the map statistics. This is a defender-sided map, so going into the half at a draw is very, very favorable if you start on attack. So Victoria's Secret, although they've had some, I think, shaky rounds, is putting it lightly. Although they've had shaky rounds, they're still in this game, and they still have a lot of game to be played, so you can't count them out yet.
You certainly can't. And Victoria's Secret, right from the get-go, I was like, oh, Slaughterhouse doesn't have a chance. Well, I didn't say Slaughterhouse doesn't have a chance, but I did not have much faith in them, okay?
Yes.
The rounds that they did win, okay, were clutches, 1vx clutches. So you can't say that they've heftily dispatched of Victoria's Secret quite yet. Victoria's Secret could have very easily be on a 4-2 score line.
Oh, absolutely.
Or
It could be
even a 5-1. Exactly.
Yeah.
If they had taken it, if they had been able to close the rounds that they had a numbers advantage at the end. But they weren't. And here we are, Slaughterhouse up 3-2. They're going to have to fight. Slaughterhouse is going to have to fight. Victoria's Secret is going to have to be themselves. And that's the key for each of these teams if they want to walk away with the W.
I think clutches and 1vx situations that you win out, yes, they're flashy and yes, they're good, but it actually, in my opinion, kind of shows that the other team still played better because they had the man advantage, but they just weren't able to kind of make it count at the end. So overall, I really think Victoria's Secret has been the better team. It's just simply they're making that last second mistake that is really struggling, that is really making them struggle, and that is what is making them lose a couple of these rounds. So I think Victoria's Secret, they need to stay confident and need to realize, hey, we've made some stupid mistakes, but those can easily be fixed. And if you're on the Slaughterhouse side of things, you don't want to get caught up in the noise and realize the only way we've been winning is just clutches. You don't want to tell that to yourself. You need to kind of organize yourself and realize we can win this game through and through no matter what. It doesn't just have to be a clutch. We just got to focus up just a little bit more. As just like that, we are going to be seeing Bailey gets the first kill on Sketchopotamus. And once again, Victoria's Secret has been the opening death 3 rounds in a row.
Yeah. Not super good, but not terrible, right? You lose a buck, sure, you lose a lot, but not necessarily as important when you're taking the top, especially since a lot of this stuff is reinforced. If you're taking the bottom and you want to take top first to open it up, it's hugely important. Well, Lexi will miss the opportunity to get an easy pick on the Jaeger, and she'll miss it by a singular bullet as Jaeger's taken down to about 10 health. Just a singular shot will do it for her. Tara on the roam downstairs has found the opening kill time and time again. An Assault Queen, though, will chuck a C4 out, taking that one Brit down. One Brit not having the best game so far, just has not been able to get anything started. Slaughterhouse very in command of this round. The wall will finally get open on Pillbox, but they still have 5 defenders to contend with should they want to push on the site.
Nade is going to be chucked out. I think an ADS is going to save the life of... No, actually, never mind. The Maestro is going to be down, and also Jaeger brought down the 10 health. This is looking very good for the attacking side, even when it is a 4v3. Jaeger, if he trips over his shoelaces, he is going to die, and the plant is coming down. And just like that, Jaeger is down as well. It's going to be a retake situation.
Goodness.
Oh, what a shot there from Lil Lexi and making it a 2v2. And this is looking very, very winnable now as an air jab. That should be a freebie onto the pulse. But Lil Lexi goes absolutely massive, finds 4, and just Breezy cleans it all up. And Victoria's Secret going 3-3 into the half. Unfortunately, we were so close to another ace, but just Breezy at the end plays it safe and cleans it up for the team of Victoria's Secret. So switch of sides now, 3-3. Probably not what we expected, but it's definitely something we are enjoying.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, it's going to be a very quick game if little Lexi can keep that pace up. And I love how that was played. It was a perfect post-plant coverage. We had Rachel covering the backside after the plant. We had Lexi covering the front side. And they just stopped everything that came at them. And Slaughterhouse peeked them one at a time, exactly what they needed to get that job done. Now, little Lexi, fantastic Siege player. Way better than I'll ever be, okay? But at the same time, she didn't have to do much to get the 4K, right? She stood there, she held the angle, she hit her shot, and we saw her hit that nasty flick. So maybe I'll take that back. That was disgusting. Either way, the last 2 that she got, she did her job properly. And that's what you need in a competitive team. Rachel Boo on the last kill did her job properly. She got the plant down. She said, okay, Lexi's covering this angle. There's only one other angle you could come from. She'll cover it. We had the Nomad charge there, set off the sound cue, and it was all over but the crying at that point. Victoria's Secret well played post-plant scenario, and I'll tell you what, that was even better due to the fact that they were down 2v4 there at the end.
Once again, it's a situation where we see Victoria's Secret is actually better when they have the man disadvantage. We've seen so many clutches from the side of, I'm blanking on their name. I've seen so many clutches from the side of Slaughterhouse. Wait, it's Slaughterhouse. Yeah, we've seen so many clutches from them that it's almost like I said earlier, if you're on the side of Victoria's Secret, you almost want that man disadvantage because every time they've had a man disadvantage, they have won the round, which is such a weird statistic to think of, but maybe I don't think that's something you really want to play into if you're on the side of Victoria's Secret, because it's not reliable, but it's just something interesting that we could take note of. We are going to be seeing Jaeger playing fairly aggressively in that CCTV area. This is a very dangerous spot to play, and typically this is a spot where if you're a Jaeger, you are expecting to die, but you want to bring someone with you, and maybe potentially two with you, as well as wasting a lot of time. So Rachel Boo is going to have to play this extremely smart, as every defender knows where she is going to be and where she is going to rotate. She just has to win her gunfights and has to try to waste as much time as possible. And right now, she's doing a fairly good job of it, as 1 minute has been kind of put down the drain, just trying to figure out exactly where that Jaeger is sitting.
Minute deep still. Really nothing from either of these teams, as Victoria's Secret very comfortable in CCTV. Slaughterhouse, their first attack, going to have to kind of come into a little bit of their own and figure out what sort of pace they want to take. They have the intel, they know that somebody's in there, and if they didn't, they do know now, as Tara will have bullets whiz by her face. A very aggressive peek in to try and throw that stun grenade will pay off. She'll do what I call the Sharsh crawl, but Solaire will get the opening kill onto Rachel Boo, and that will be Jaeger off the board. No utility wasted, but Tara is now planted in the front of CCTV, and Solaire working that window, so it's a two-pronged approach. The crossfire is set up and ready to go. There's still one left in there. Little Lexi, she'll find one. Ooh. And still barely survive. Oh, try to escape the room, but Solaire will be there to get the refrag. 2 for her thus far. 4-3, a minute left.
Yeah, we are going to be seeing 3 operators on the side of the defense, but all of the operators are full health, and you're looking at the attack, and the Zofia and the Habana are sitting at around 20 to 10, no, actually like 30 combined health here. So it's not looking very good, but Bandit is actually, I think, going to go down. Don't exactly know how that happened, but that is a very important operator. I think it's potentially had a C4 in pocket that could have been used, but it doesn't matter. It's just Breezy is going to be dead. You still have the smokes, and you still have a Maestro, so this is great late game operators, as we are going to be seeing that one. Brit is able to find one, and Smoke is able to find another. What a shot there, but it's going to be all up to the Smoke, and unfortunately, yes, it was a nice shot, but you're not going to be able to win the round out with just one nice shot. And we saw Slaughterhouse is able to bring one right back there, finally answering the 2 unanswered that Victoria's Secret had prior. That is a very hard name for me. I don't know why.
Yeah, I had a problem with Queen YOLO mid when they first started out, but I got used to it.
I can see that as well.
If I ever had to cast team solo mid, I would have the opposite problem, right? And so thankfully I probably won't ever get the opportunity to cast them, so I won't get it messed up, right? So hey, win-win for Ty. Here we go. But anyway, Slaughterhouse, they'll win it out on the first round post half, and we see a Lion get 6 picks, somebody that we don't see super often anymore. Post nerf Lion, somebody that we used to see all the time, almost 100% pick rate, but of course now post nerf not so much. But we'll see this time around. Perhaps Slaughterhouse has something in mind, as it looks like Victoria's Secret, although not being successful in the preferred bomb site in round number 1, will opt to change it on Slaughterhouse to try and throw them off their game.
No matter what, I think Lion is still a very strong operator, simply due to the fact he makes people stand still. If you have an operator that can make you stop moving in a game where movement is very, very key, it's going to be a strong operator. Obviously, he's not as powerful as he once was, but if we see Slaughterhouse use this Lion properly, use their drones effectively, get the proper amount of intel, and then make the call at the proper time, Lion is one of the hardest operators to counter, but there's a lot more factors that you have to consider after his nerf in order to make him effective. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens here and how effective they can make the Lion. But we are going to be moving into the action phase now. Mozzie in a similar position. We saw Jaeger last round, but is also going to be joined by the Jaeger. So two operators invested up top in order to try to defend from potentially a Buck ripping up the floor, but there is no Buck on the board. So it's just defending really anybody from just trying to get into that situation is the Jaeger and the Mozzie. As I don't necessarily know if they've come under any type of fire so far, so they are sitting relatively comfortably with about 2 minutes left.
Yeah, we've seen, the first minute kind of be an information gathering session. We'll see some late pests being shut out by the Mozzie to stop some drones from scouting her out. Just Breezy just hanging out, waiting for the intel that either A, the attackers are coming there, or B, they're coming somewhere else. We'll get a Thatcher EMP set off, and here comes the first Lion Pulse. So now they know Lion is a factor. The Pulse is so quick these days post-nerf. They also do not stick when they catch you in motion. If you stop moving, they stop pinging you out. So Lion, very heavy nerf on that side. Will not prove useful in the first Pulse, but still 2 more left, I believe. There's 3 total, right?
Yes.
So 2
yes,
left to utilize as half the round now expired. 10 people still left. Lion, the only one taking damage thus far.
And we are going to be seeing another EE1D is going to be dispatched, and they're not really capitalizing on the fact that these operators are now staying still. What a shot there from the Mozzie, able to win that out. Was so close to death, but peaked up at the exact right time. And now, for the defense, they have done a great job of protecting up top, but we are going to be seeing Zofia in a gunfight that is going to be extremely, extremely important against this Doc. If Doc is able to find this kill, this could easily be the end of the round very early on. So much up top control here for this defense, and it is not really being addressed effectively so far from this attacking side, as you only have the Zofia and the Habana left, and there's no presence on site. You're still invested on this upstairs, and there's only 30 seconds left. And Lolexi's actually going to be able to get 2 huge kills, and just like that, Victoria's Secret win another defending round, making it 4-4, tying it all up.
Lexi just told the rest of her team, all right, everybody hang back, hold my beer, and watch this. Just doing absolute work for her team as far as the putting people down on the ground. Look at that, 11 kills. Solaire, who had 8 kills, I believe 5 rounds deep. Slowed down a little bit, but still been getting her fair share. Little Lexi, though, in the last 3 rounds, I believe, with 8 kills. So doing a fantastic job. We saw, of course, had that 4K round just a few rounds ago. So, Victoria's Secret back in at 4-4, a lot closer than I think a lot of people would have expected the number 2 and the number 4 and the number 8 team to be at this point in time. But, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have a game on our hands. Remember, it's 1st to 7. Tie at 6, we go into an OT, where somebody will be declared the winner in a best-of-3 OT scenario. Otherwise, we will have a winner at the 7-4 or 7-5 score line at this point in time. Either way, somebody will come out the other side with the win, as Victoria's Secret will take their first downstairs defense here on Border.
It's so interesting that the 2 games that I expected to be extremely close were extremely one-sided. And then the last 2 games that I expected to be one-sided, this one and the Artemis game, have turned out to be very, very close. It just completely goes against the pattern of what we've seen before. It completely goes against the
and then there's the games that throw you completely on your head and make you question reality.
Yeah, it's been a very, very interesting day in terms of how that leaderboard is going to look at the end of it. So it's going to be fun to see exactly where all the teams and all the players are going to be standing come the end of this week. But we are going to be moving into the action phase now, and excuse me, but we are going to be on Ventilation Workshop, which in my opinion is the strongest site on Border. Armory upstairs, a lot of people will say that's more strong, but in my opinion, it's attacked so many times that people have just learned a perfect way of just getting an effective round on it. Whereas Ventilation Workshop, it's a little bit more foreign to teams and kind of opens the door for the defense to be a little bit more comfortable. So we are just going to have to see exactly how the defending teams decides to defend this site. Slaughterhouse are going to be clearing up the up top. It's very, very typical for this site. Up top control is the most valuable asset you could ask for when trying to attack Workshop here. So typically you'll see a buck or a sledge, but we're not going to see any of those. So not a lot of soft destruction on the side of the attack, which is kind of questionable when you need to get control of up top, but they do have the Zofia, so they'll have minor holes here and there, but definitely not as many as you would want for a site like this.
So they're
for
not
a site
holding,
push like this.
Yeah, they're not holding up top, but they don't have a lot of people on site either. It looks like they're set up to try and do a retake. And so we'll get the window opened up, which is kind of the default spot, to hop in the window and plant
Yes.
Right in the safety of the corner there. Otherwise, the other standard attack is going to be from bathroom side, and there's a default plant spot on that side as well. And they're not pushing bathroom at all. As a matter of fact, they're kind of bewildered. I'm bewildered, as a matter of fact, why it's kind of taking so long to get this floor open up and stuff. Like, they didn't have any resistance taking the top slaughterhouse, and so
Yes.
I don't think that they should be this far behind. Even if they battled it out, I mean, the round would have been over if there was one person there to kind of give them strife up top.
Yeah, they would have wasted too much time.
Yep, we'll have Rachel Boo peeking down the east stairs hallway. We'll miss the shots. No, actually, we'll get Sky down to about 1 health. So sneeze on her, and she is most certainly dead. Sky on the Zofia will remain a little bit on the aggressive side, being the entry fragger. Lexi will shut her down, but Solaire, she'll find one onto that one. Breezy will fire right back. Tara goes down. It's a 4v3. 17 seconds left. Slaughterhouse scrambling to make something happen. Most of them up top. Looks like the diffuser is lost in sight. Solaire will find her second, but little Lexi, just Breezy, will fire right back, finding one apiece. It's one left. Only seconds to go, and that will not happen. Just Breezy with the pistol will finish things off, and Victoria's Secret, after being behind for quite a long time, will take the first lead they've had at least in a while.
And it's very interesting there. That plant was so very close to coming down. If that plant did come down, it would have been a completely different round. And the reason why is because the planter died, the diffuser was dropped, and the diffuser was dropped in a very, very dangerous spot. But if that plant came down, all of the attackers were in a position to prevent a retake and also prevent a counter defuse. So that round was completely dictated by the fact that diffuser didn't come down, and it was so close there for Slaughterhouse, and this game is so close. But you're looking at this and you're realizing, hey, Victoria's Secret are on the verge of putting this on to match point. It is so very close to becoming 6-4, and then you don't know how that could potentially turn into maybe a 7-4. So Slaughterhouse, this is a very important round for them, because preventing match point for as long as possible is the main objective when you are behind in the game.
So I do have to point out that Brimstone did call a 8-7 victory for Victoria's Secret. So
that could come to fruition. It is getting very
here's
close.
the deal. He's been calling games like really, really well. So if that ends up happening, I think the team should start reaching out to him and paying him to predict the game in their favor.
Yeah, just be like, hey, could we just win this one?
Yeah, apparently he's a psychic or has some sort of determination over the fate of the teams at the end of the night. Either way, so far it's been a heck of a battle. This might be the best game that we've seen so far today. Although I will tell you this much. We did see a tie score line at the half the last time around.
That is true. That is very true. And also the Artemis game did turn into a situation where it was also very, very close, but Artemis started running away with it once it was on the defensive side of things. And that could easily be what happens here with Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, sorry for those of you that got confused by what you just saw. Sometimes the little RTMP feed that we use to share the stream will jump backwards in time for a short second. But I assure you, it is now live yet again. This is the scoreline 5-4. Victoria's Secret up by 1. And thankfully, we didn't miss any action as there's still 10 people on the board.
Yes. Unfortunately, that's just some technical difficulties that pop up here and there, but we didn't miss anything extremely important. Obviously, some map control and some intel has been distributed when you are on the side of the attacking team, but no blood has been shed and no bullets have been fired except the ones that create rotate holes or sight lines, and we are going to see actually Thatcher brought down slightly. Don't exactly know where from, but clearing out this Jaeger is taking quite a bit of time as Jaeger finds herself in the exact same position she was earlier on defense, and it was dispatched fairly quickly from the attack, but this time around it's definitely taking a lot more time as half the round has been put away trying to get rid of this Jaeger that is sitting in CCTV.
Very slow push-up by little Lexi. Will get frozen by the line, but Rachel Blue doing work on the other side. Going absolutely bananas. Little Lexi will find that kill on the doorway there. So Victoria's Secret looking very, very strong this round. A minute left for the attackers, but only 2 left to go. And I think Discord's having some issues right now, so I'll let you take over.
As Ty tries to figure out his mic, you're going to be seeing Rachel doing her job
All right, so I'm going to have to mute him because my Discord is freaking out right now. There we go. It looks like the Discord connection seemed to be a little bit janky, but I think we're good now. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what happened there?
Yeah, Discord went full on robot, but we didn't miss anything. So 2 snafus, and then right when we come back, little Lexi will pick things right back up with a double kill. Her and Rachel each with 2 apiece this round thus far. 24 seconds left to go, and that will be it. It will be finished off by that one Brit. Finally, with the Alda there, headshot, and Victoria's Secret 2 in a row, beginning to pull away.
Yeah, we saw that Zofia just left on Isolation Island in a 1v5. You're going to have every single piece of luck on your side if you want to win that one out. And unfortunately, Slaughterhouse did not have every single piece of luck on their side, and they are going to lose that round out. And just like that, Victoria's Secret are pushed on to match point. Potential now for a 7-4, but something to look at. Just Breezy and Little Lexi with a combined 27 kills. That is quite a number. We haven't seen a 20-kill game like we saw 2 last week, but that is impressive. That is still extremely, extremely impressive.
Listen, I don't know what happened last week to see 2 21 kills in a 19-kill game.
That had to be a perfect recipe. I don't know what that was.
We're not going to see anybody get 21 kills again.
That's
ever.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, and then we had it twice in 1 week. Not only that, but we saw Maddie, who was one of the 21-kill people, I believe, or was she the 19th? Either way.
No, she was 20.
She found her second ace. There's only been 2 aces in all of CCS R6W in both regions thus far, and they were both committed by the same person, Maddox from DG. But here we go. I feel like there's a lot of Maddies.
Yes,
in the league.
I was thinking.
I feel like there's at least 3
Madeline, Maddie.
There's
Maddox.
There's like OMG. That's Mandy. Or who's the one for Powerhouse?
Maddie. That's Maddie as well.
Or is that
Maddie Elizabeth?
There's a Maddie Elizabeth. Okay, right.
That's
Then there's
Powerhouse.
Maddox, who I know through their
Maddie.
in-game chat is Maddie. And then there's one more, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there's Madeline on.
Okay, yeah, Madeline.
AK.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Which Maddie is
There's a
just
bunch.
short for. All right, so they must be all close to the same age, like when Maddie or Madeline was a
Maddie
very
was
popular
a huge
kid's
name.
name. Yeah, exactly. Just like me, like my name is Chris, and like I could not, when I was in school, I never had a class where there wasn't another Chris. So they always had to be like Chris H or, whatever. So I understand your pain, Madeline of the world, Madelines of the world. I went through it just to say. But here we go. Match point for Victoria's Secret. It's been a heck of a battle all game long. Slaughterhouse fighting at every step of the way, winning 1vX's. One of their team doing a heck of a good job. Sky, though, will be the first to take damage, but retain her life in this match point. A minute ticks away off the board as it looks like Slaughterhouse is determining how they're going to push this pillbox. As a matter of fact, it looks like there's only one operator over there, so she could be a decoy. She'll hop off the balcony and drop down underneath where the site is, of course, and decide maybe we don't want to take up top. Instead, they'll get the wall open there in Passport and see if they can get some picks before they decide to push in and go for a plant.
Hindsight is 2020, and last time when we saw Slaughterhouse push this site, it was very rushed, and they kind of fell into the sight lines of almost everybody on Victoria's Secret. But we can see here they've changed it into a more of a methodical approach, and they're trying to get organized just a little bit. So that's a great thing to look at to show that they have adapted quite a bit. But it does not matter, as it's 1 minute and 15 seconds left, and the first kill is actually going to go in favor of Slaughterhouse. That one Brit is off the board. It's going to be your bandit. Not a lot of utility, but also a very valuable gun. As Tara is also able to find another, making it a 5v3, but quickly making it a 3v3, is Rachel Boo and Sketchopotamus. And just like that, match point in a situation where time is slowly ticking down, but the diffuser is also coming down. It looks like it's actually going to be planted as... Ooh. Is that complete site control in A and also B? This is like a retake situation already for this Victoria's Secret side, but it's turning out fairly well as Lolexi is able to find a kill onto Solaire. But Sky, the Zofia, and the Thatcher of Bailey are going to be the last 2 alive, and they need to win this one out. They need to be patient, but also a little bit aggressive to make sure that that defuse does not come out, because this is match point, and this is where all the marbles definitely count.
Yeah, it's a very difficult retake scenario for the defense there. They'll peek out. They'll find one and downer, and that will be that.
Oh,
nope,
wow.
Zophia's still left alive. The defuse will begin. Little Lexi, but Sky is ready for it. She'll find one. She'll find two. She'll find all of them. No, they won't. The diffuser will get disabled. It looked like little Lexi was down, but hey, pros don't fake it. Little Lexi showing it all. What is happening?
Goodness.
That could not have come down more to the wire. Are you kidding? I mean, that was a millisecond difference between her death and the diffuser getting fully disabled. I don't know how Victoria's Secret won that out. Little Lexi,
you gotta give respect to the counter diffuser. All of her friends were just dying right next to her.
Well, they were doing their job. Listen, we make fun of people being meat shields every once in a while, but that
was perfect.
Case,
that
is your job.
Shield.
That is your job, yes, indeed. So,
wow,
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, Brimstone. What a game!
Wow, yeah, I'm still in shock from that ending there. But exactly like you said, the teammates coming in at the very least to provide that distraction. And then like everyone else, I'm sure they thought they had that round. They thought they were cleaning up. But then the diffuse or the counter diffuse happened.
It was incredible.
I don't think I've ever seen it that close before. I mean, it was so close to the kill cam glitch. Like that is
you saw someone just teleport across.
Well, we're talking about frames. We're talking about frames of difference.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, a fantastic effort at the end. It was such a difficult retake scenario when the diffuser was planted there by that window. It was really well played by Slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse did a great job. Victoria's Secret was Victoria's Secret, kind of like we talked about prior to the game. And Victoria's Secret came out on top. But it was a lot closer than I think a lot of people expected.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the big thing to take away of all today's games. Everything that you kind of expect is not right. We expected coming into this matchup, the two games at the very start, we were expecting to be extremely close. We also expected Queen YOLO mid to get a fairly easy win against Powerhouse. That didn't happen. All the games we expected to be blowouts were very close. It's just today was a day of unexpecteds, and there was so many examples of them, even little things in the game or at the end, the entire score line. So I think that's a big takeaway. Slaughterhouse should be proud of their performance. I think every team that did lose today should be proud of their performance because every game was fairly close and every game did have glimpses of glory and glimpses of really good play. So yes, you should be happy that you were close, but you also shouldn't be content that you lost. So there's a lot of things to fix, but like I said, hindsight is 2020. So look back at the VOD, figure some things out, address your mistakes, and I think going into next week, it's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, speaking of looking at the VODs, I think everyone's going to have to definitely check out that Powerhouse versus QIM VOD.
From what I heard, it was a barn burner. It was a 7-5 score line, so.
Yeah,
amazing. But yeah, exactly like you were saying, so many of these matches, despite seeing some bigger discrepancies in the final rounds, the round counts, they were very close.
Yes.
Especially that match right there. I predicted 8-7, and I want to say that still felt like an 8-7, if I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Besides Victoria's Secret running away and gaining momentum in those last 4 rounds, which were still close rounds, by the way, capped off by that final one especially.
It doesn't get closer than that.
It doesn't get closer, yeah.
So close. I mean, there were just some great matches on the NA side today. Just going to go through a quick recap of those matches for you today. We did start off with 8K versus Axios. That was a 7-2 win for 8K. We had Disrupt Gaming taking a 7-1 victory over Outdeuced. Then we had Artemis taking a 7-4 victory over Sinister Red. Victoria's Secret as well taking a 7-4 victory over Slaughterhouse. And then that match that I'm sure everyone's excited to get to and watch the VOD of, Powerhouse.
Yes.
Dethroning the Queens, 7-5, taking a victory there. I'm sure that's got to be an interesting one. Any finishing thoughts for the evening here from either of you?
Yeah, I've got one. I love the copy pasta for Victoria's Secret. I'm not going to say it on air.
Okay. I have to go
I
check
am going to
on.
allow it. I'm happy that the mods have allowed it because it's hilarious. But you guys will need to check it out at some point. Anyway, listen, great games all around. The first 2 matches, It wasn't the games we were expecting, but the last two were not disappointing. And I'll tell you another thing. What we learned today is it doesn't matter what your rank is. We're halfway through the season.
Oh, for sure.
Anything can happen. And I think it was you, Red, that was mentioning earlier that I can't wait to see what it's going to look like at the end of the season. Well, me either.
Yes, it's going to be incredible.
Me either. And you don't want to miss the games on the way to the end of the season. So make sure, folks, to hit that follow button up above. We thank you so much for joining us tonight. Gentlemen, Red Cube, first cast ever. Brimstone, first cast ever earlier on EU.
Yes.
All right, emergency casting. I bet you're tired, ready to take a nap. Unless you want to throw the VOD up of Powerhouse Victoria's Secret and cast over that live on air.
You know what? I was actually, so if anyone's watching, I'll definitely be streaming later, probably in an hour or two, just kind of self-casting that match. If anyone's interested, I feel like I have a few more hours of energy in me.
Yeah, I hear you. Only 10-hour day. I mean, come on. You can do better than that.
Come on now. There's so much more left.
Again, thank you very much. A lot of people did a bunch of gift subs. I'm not going to single anybody out because, we appreciate all of y'all's support.
Yes,
but we thank you very much for that. And, again, everybody knows this already, but I'll repeat it one more time. All the net profits for that sort of stuff going right into the prize pool for R6W. So your money's going right back into the community. So we appreciate that. Anybody else have anything else? Red Cube.
I just want to say one thing.
Correct your Twitter. Correct your Twitter.
So my Twitter, if you guys want to give me a follow, it's Red Cube Casts. Not Red Cube Everything. Red Cube Everything will take you to a completely different Twitter for some development company.
Whoever that company is, like, what are all these people following me? What is Rainbow Six?
What are these what are these these R6s? And but my Twitter is Red Cube Casts. So cast as in CASTS. So that's gonna be the correction. But it was an absolute blast today. I appreciate everybody giving me the opportunity to come in here and cast, and it's definitely going to be one of the most entertaining games we've seen. I think 1 through 4 was an absolute blast. So thanks everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate it. But again, it's Red Cube Cast, not Red Cube Everything.
All right, enough self-plugging. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time, same place, Wednesday night next week for week 6. Until then, we'll see you next time. Mike's your mute.
When day comes, it floats into space like a spirit amazed in a wider